What's up everybody, back on the Shadowlands beta with some more raid testing for you. So today we're taking a look at Mythic Huntsman Altimor in the new raid Castle Nathria. Before we start, I just want to point out that this is very early beta, so a lot of things can change. So this is by no means a guide on how to, and due to it being beta, there's a lot of bugs, a lot of lag and weird stuff going on. But I'll go over what we uncovered during this limited testing. The big new thing for this fight on Mythic is the empowered version of his Sin Seeker ability. Sin Seeker is the ability he uses on both normal and heroic, targets 3 players, then after a bit fires at them, dealing a large amount of damage and leaves a 30-second long bleed on target's hit. Now on Mythic, as I mentioned, this gets spiced up a bit. Every doggo adds something to Sin Seeker now. Tooltip reads, Sin Seeker is permanently empowered when a Gargon is released. So on pool, you deal with Margor, who empowers Sin Seeker with Vicious Bolt, which adds a ton of damage to Sin Seeker, which is then split between targets hit. So on heroic, you just want Sin Seeker to hit the 3 targets who got marked. Now you need people to soak this shot with the marked targets or they go poof. So not only will a lot more people take damage, more than half the raid will get the bleed dot as well. So a big increase in overall raid damage taken, as well as forcing a lot of player movement due to stacking with this and Vicious Lounge. Then spreading so everyone doesn't get hit by Huntsman's spread shot, which deals a lot more damage on Mythic. So we kinda just divided range up in 3 camps or groups. Each group dealt with 1 Sin Seeker and or Vicious Lounge to make it a bit easier. I assume once it goes live and add-ons etc are up to date, you'll just have a boss mod to mark Sin Seeker targets, then mark 3 locations for him to run to, making it a lot easier to deal with. Next out is Barghast, who adds Pierce Soul to Sin Seeker, and I say add because Vicious Bolt is still active. Pierce Soul works like the tank mechanic. Every player hit by Sin Seeker summons a soul. Its starting health percent is equal to the player's health percentage after being hit by Sin Seeker. So if 15 players in total soak Sin Seeker, 15 souls will spawn and start moving towards the boss. And just like the tank mechanic, if they reach Huntsman, his damage is increased by 200% and it's pretty much a wipe. And these souls needs to be healed up to disappear, just like the tank soul. So you'll still need a few players per Sin Seeker to split the damage from Vicious Bolt and for them to be topped before getting hit, since it is percentage based. So the damage Sin Seeker inflicts is less relevant, it's just what percentage you're at after it hits. So things like Devour, Disc Barrier and Absorbs will make a huge difference here, and immunes if you have them. Lastly, we have Hecutees, adds Shatter Shot to Sin Seeker. Players struck by Sin Seeker inflicts a large amount of nature damage to all players within 5 yards of them. So not only will you need multiple players to soak, they can no longer be stacked while doing so. So a little bit like Blackwater Behemoth from Eternal Palace, where you had to soak it in a line rather than a big clump of players. Which doesn't necessarily sound that hard, but remember that you'll still spawn souls when you're hit that can't reach the boss, and there will be less space around the room due to these stone shards on the ground. And you'll take more damage now, meaning odds are you'll be at an even lower health percentage after Sin Seeker, meaning aforementioned souls will require more healing. So this fight really ramps up the longer it drags out, and when Hecutees is out, it's kind of a burn situation where you'll eventually just run out of space, so dealing with Sin Seeker will eventually get near impossible. Other than that, as it is a mythic boss, everything is scaled up, hurts more, has more health, etc, etc. But it really looks like a decent boss fight, especially for a second boss or early boss in a new raid tier. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Still a lot of things that are immunable, which I for one am not a fan of. You can immune Sin Seekers, you don't need to split the damage. You can immune Barghast Rip Soul, so no soul spawns. It's not game breaking, sure, but I'd rather just have to deal with all mechanics all the time. Kinda feels like how the encounters are meant to be played, so not a fan of immunes. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Guides will be released once Shadowlands is live and we've figured out the encounters, of course. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Check out my Patreon and join the Stankie Discord for all your raiding needs, and my Twitch, Stankie Gaming, for more raids and raid testing. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.